Hi everyone, I'm back with another video and today we will talk about team setup, specifically team arena setup. So this is a PvP oriented video. This will also be geared towards competitive players. So if you just play for fun or if you want to use heroes that are not really popular or doesn't really provide anything to your team, your goal is not really winning, then this video is not for you. However, this will be helpful at least. Uh, if you're a casual player, I still recommend you watch this just so you have an idea. And later on, if you follow this guide, you can change the heroes that you use with the heroes that you actually want to use. So, yeah. Okay, that's it. Before though, we should first know the roles of heroes. Why is it important? It's because we want to know how they will actually do with the team. They have their specific role, they are doing something, and in return, there are others who support them. So, of course, this is about team synergy and whatnot. I might not cover the team positioning because it is. I really can't cover team positioning here. I have other videos for it. Me doing arena because it's really super duper different, super duper case to case basis. So I'd rather not. So going for the roles, let's start with initiators. So there are mainly two types or three types of initiating. One type is utility. They provide flinches, they provide inabilities like stun, freeze, frostbite, and whatnot. Of course, in essence, all initiators are should be unstoppable in a sense that they should be the first one to use their skills. And so, Reese is a perfect example. Frostbite, it could last as long as 9 seconds or so, I think, and that is amazing for her because that damage is very big if you're gonna think about it. Now, no one can really stop Reese from casting except for someone that I will mention later on, but other than that, she is a very solid initiator. Um, there is Nyx, there is Lillian as well. Lillian is actually both on the both sides of spectrum. I'll discuss later. There's Ciara, there's Liana, there's Tommy, but I only can recommend Reese, Lillian, Nyx, and Ciara. Other than that, I don't recommend Tommy and Liana anymore. They can be stopped, but you can make it work. But overall, with their stats, Ciara, the saving grace of using Ciara is she backflips, so she can be saved most situations. So very good for her. It's fortunate that she works that way. Other than that, yeah, Ciara provides flinches. So that is one, utility initiators. Number two are offensive ones. Lillian has some damage, so I'll include her there as well. And Reese. Of course, Frostbite deals a lot of damage, so that hurts. That almost damages you for more than 50% if you have good runes, so that is big and amazing. And so these heroes are technically providing offense, so you can decrease your opponent's HP as fast as possible. Brina is probably the best in that regard because of her improved buff this update 1.6.5. So yeah, she's very good, and neither Reese and Hughes can stop her from casting her skill. Probably Ram in a sense, but I'm not sure about that. And speaking of Ram, she is a counter initiator. That's number three. It is very limited. Back then, it is Shireen, and no one can do it better than her. But apparently, Shireen can be stopped by a couple of initiators already, so that's bad. the other hand, Ram provides just that, but the damage isn't as big as Shirin, but still very good. You see, most teams struggle against Reese, and if you don't have or don't uh, know how to deal with it, then you will most likely be destroyed by it. So one thing to really fight against it is having your own ram. What it does, it dashes forwards and Reese detects that it's in front of her, so she casts her skill in front of her, not on uh, your side if you are using ram. So that is cool because you only ram gets damage, I think, or none at all, something like that. So that is very cool as a whole. So those are the initiators that I can recommend. If you found something else, then that would be good. But if none, then none. Okay. Now, what else? We have nukers, which of course, initiators still needs, especially utility initiators need support, and that is provided by nukers. Nukers are the one that really cleans up the whole field, and you have initiators like them, like Reese, then they can come close to your opponent's field and wreak havoc. Now, of course, it doesn't always go well because the combinations of nukers should be taken into consideration. Number one, okay, let's just list the nukers that I know of. Uh, Vicky, Locke, Shauna, Mistra, and Sherry. Now, to me, my idea of nuker is someone that has multiple hit, multiple projectile, and Sherry isn't exactly like that, but I still recommended her because she can fulfill the job of destroying anyone in front of her. She's good at that still. So I'll recommend. So everything that really destroys, clears opponents fast, I consider that a nuker. Now, uh, I only consider it a legitimate nuker if it can perform the same across the league. So Master, Legend, and Challenger leagues, and also at top 50, if they can provide that damage needed by nuker you expect from nukers, and then that is it. So okay, that's it for nukers. Other roles are utility. Under utility, I have sub roles specific. So one, we have tanks. Tanks are, well, you could say Fleta is a tank, Ram is a tank because of their HP. Rampart is one, Orga is another. Those with big HP ideally are tanks. Now, they don't necessarily have to be healers. What they provide is Spotlight. Like in my case, I have an Orga with Spotlight, so he performs that role. In a sense, my Fleta provides two roles. One is a tank, and another is a dasher, which is the next role, next sub role for utility. So a dasher is pretty much like Hughes, Yuria, um, Fleta, and you could say that Vix is one, another, and Ram are, yeah, dashers. But the thing with Ram, I put her to counter initiate because she steps back at times. So yeah, but these heroes uh, dashes forward and really provides utility in a way that they have spotlight. They remove the aggro from your side towards your opponent's side. Is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, that's it. Uh, Healers, of course. Now healers is obvious, heals you, but other than healing, they provide utility. For example, Erin provides invulnerability. Even though her HP is not the highest, she's got bad heals. If you consider her in PvE, she is actually very good in PvP. Instead, I don't think anyone can really measure up to her. Okay, I know Erin's HP is 150. Oh, what the hell? Dread has 144. Okay. Oh, Erin has higher HP. I didn't know that. Oh, I always thought she has 130 plus. Same with Cynthia. Huh. Okay, anyway, apparently Erin has a higher HP than Dread, but uh, yeah, you most likely want her invulnerability more than anything else. So, other good healers are Moon, provides crit up. It's not needed anymore because they introduced Growth Chamber, but still, it is appreciated to have crits most of the time. Uh, Yura is actually good, an alternative for Dread. Per PvP, I'd rather use Dread, just because Dread's weakness is um, Faith. Yes, Faith. So his weakness is only limited to Fatima and the likes, but there is zero Fatima usage in top 50, so don't have to worry about it. Nor Minette is powerful enough to take down a Dread, so you don't have to worry. Same with Erin. Erin's weakness is Devils. No, that's a class info. Are Devil King, so it's not almost non-existent because one, they don't have EA forms, and two, they are weak relatively, so have nothing to worry about. These two, that's why Erin and Dread are the most preferred healers. You can use Marian, you can use Serena. Serena is one that is very tough to beat. Even with Vicky, I saw a Serena surviving a point blank range against a fully invested Vicky, so that is something to worth considering. Okay, so those are the positions. I will not mention disablers. Okay, disablers are Helene, Alessa, and the like. They provide CC, and they don't really initiate in a sense that they stop opponents, but they can sometimes. But what you get from them is really the CC that they provide. So yeah, that is it for the roles. So while I'm buying, uh, let's proceed with the common team setups. So number one, the most common is big three plus two healers. Now big three is Yuria, Vicky, Vlog. Got two nukers, two healers, and one utility, and that is Yuria. Now Yuria, most of the time, what we prefer has OCD plus Spotlight. You can use OCD plus Fire Zone, Storm Zone, but we prefer Spotlight because of the utility it provides. It takes away the aggro out from you, but towards your opponent. So something especially very useful against Reese teams. Against teams with Reese and you don't have yours. And even if you have yours, that's better because you can freeze them and then your Yuria follows up. So for nukers, it's naturally Vicky and Vlog, but you can use Shauna. Like I said, what Vicky does is destroys a lane, a whole lane. Uh, let's look at the positions for a while with the Vicky. Okay, this is bad. Uh, any Vickies? Any Vickies? Oh, he made his team weak. Okay, for example, this Vicky's role is to wipe out your position 2, 5, and 4 because her skill goes in a straight lane. On the other hand, if you battle out a flock, it goes the skills spreads out from him. So they have different coverage. If you need to surely snipe someone, go for Vicky. If not, if you want coverage, go for Vlog. Shana can replace Vlog, but Shauna can also replace Vicky. What happens is you've got these two nukers with great coverage that you don't need a specialized sniping nuker. Uh, on the other hand, Sherry can replace Vicky because they work the same. Their skill goes forward. The opponents from their back will be safe though, so something to think about. And yeah, overall, these nukers are meant to do damage, and most of the time they are used to snipe the healers at the back because most of them have healers at the back. For example, this. If I demonstrate this, should I? Let's see if I can. They're attacking me. Wrong setup. Anyway, that's it for the nukers, and now we move on to the healers. I've already discussed about the healers. Arian to me is not replaceable. If you can, you can. If you don't have, you don't have any choice either way. But two healers, Arian Dread, are the most ideal. Serena can replace Dread. In my opinion, I choose Serena than Dread because of that higher HP. Really compensates the weakness of blue. Besides, you're harder to snipe by Vlok, okay? And you're neutral to Shana anyway, so that is something. And that's it for the most common. I mean, that is the top tier position set up back then. But now, since we've got the Reese, we have now the second, which is using one initiator, two nukers, and two healers. Actually, this is more common on Chinese, and I can see any Chinese in particular that actually does that setup. This is actually two healers, but it's technically Orga, so I can't count that. Most of the time, that two healers is a range. What they do is make use of healers and Reese, and the two nukers, okay, provides damage. So this is very similar to that setup, but that's not what I see. Oh, this is a single healer and it is only Orga. This is no, not. It's not a red. It's an Orga, so I can't count that as such. They no, it's not Vlog. It's almost. Hmm. Hmm. This has one healer, two initiators, which I don't like really. Oh, really? There's no common setup here except this. Oh. Anyway, okay, they have the not most common set. Oh, okay, let's look at the top if they have it. Uh, that's what I've noticed last week. Two healers, one Reese, and two nukers. Oh, this is it. Okay, he has it. Uh, you can of course replace your initiator with Nyx and Lillian or Lillian, so it's up to you. But Reese is the best right now in terms of initiating, so that is solid. Putting Erin here has a strategy which I can't figure out yet right now, so I'll try to figure it out later. But that's what they usually do in order for her to die early and let the other one survive later on, because they want to make Erin die first, and then both Erin and Serena will have Hand of Salvation. And then what happens is that when the time that Serena actually dies and procs her Hand of Salvation, she will then revive Erin hopefully and destroy everyone. Okay? Because of her invulnerability, by that time there's no more Hand of Salvation, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? That is the second most popular setup. And the last one is what I'm using is one initiator, two nukers, and well, one utility and one healer. What do I mean by that? Well, this is my initiator. I've got two nukers, I've got a utility, and I've got a healer. This does two things, a healer and a utility. But most of the time what I use is, okay, if I'm gonna attack someone, Okay, let's do this. Uh, okay, I already told you how I set up my team. Um, this doesn't need further explanations. Uh, okay. Okay, what happens here is hopefully, well, it will. Uh, I use my initiator to stop my opponents from moving. Then got a utility via Fleta which goes forwards. And wow, she actually changed how she works. So yeah, I've got two nukers with which makes sure that everyone dies. Okay, and that is it for my opponent. Destroyed. So your initiator stops your opponent from moving. You've got utility, which is Fleta in my case. She has spotlight. It takes away the battle out of my field towards my opponents, and then my two nukers will clean up, and Dread provides support via healing and Hand of Salvation. I have two Hand of Salvation, which is on my Reese and Dread, so that is amazing. That is my setup, and most of the setups right now are like that. We'll see again. Oh, my rank went up again. I don't like that one bit. Okay, this is my. Oh, he is using a different setup. Oh, it's almost like this. Oh, he uses different setup. This is the usual setup. This is the ideal lineup in my opinion. But then again, it can be stopped by rams or whatever. Uh, this has, well, an initiator, two healers, one nuker. If this is Vicky, it would be fine. It'd be better. Uh, okay, this is another two nukers, one utility. Okay, we have almost the same archetype. Okay, this is, yeah, two healer, one initiator, two nukers. So far you can see the list goes on. They follow the format. Again, initiator, two healers. Well, one is utility, not both are nukers. But then again, you've got an offensive initiator anyway, so a secondary nuker might not be needed. Okay, this is another. Well, I don't like this team. Okay, I don't know this team. Okay, this is almost the same setup. Two nukers, initiator, healer, and utility. Okay, this is super offensive, man. Chill. But it can be stopped by Reese, so that is fine. Oh, Ram, the strong. Okay, so that is it for the common team setup. Now you've got the roles. Okay, if you have a hero that you want to use, go use it. It's really up to you if you want to use it to replace the members of the team that I've discussed in this video. So for now, if you're gonna follow this, it will be very great templates so you can make sure of that you can proceed with arena at least, and learn things, and then later on if you learn things you can apply. Okay, I actually want to use Drago, which is not common and not weak and very usable. So you replace things like, okay, Drago is powerful, so I can replace my Sherry with Drago. That is possible. Okay, something like that. For now, I really recommend you using this template, at least for a guide, because most of the people, when they ask, okay, which hero should I invest on next? And they have different roles in mind, and later on, they actually invested on heroes which do the same role. So yeah, it's a bad decision. So At least this guides you on whom to invest for now, and later on invest on other things if you actually have the resource to do so. And if you actually climb up in the arena, you can get a lot of resources via Glory Shop. Of course, I got 1,600. That is 2,000 for how much? 1,400 gems. Yep, 2,400 gems. So that is a lot. Can exchange that for rubies. So yeah, I hope this helped, and see you in the next. And goodbye.